Hi everybody, it's Jeff Hopper back with Doug Wicks. We're talking about a mission in life, and this time we're going to talk about how you move and how easily that should or could happen for you if you don't allow yourself to get weighed down. But, as golf fans, we watch TV every week, and there are these guys who are enlisted to carry these gigantic golf bags, these tour bags. Have you ever had to do that?
I did, and thankfully it was out here in the desert, and it was not as taxing as it could have been if I would have been like living, in the South. And when you don't know when the rain's going to come, and you're carrying umbrellas, you're carrying rain gear, you're carrying, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a heavy bag. I know from talking to tour caddies, it is something that wears on them over time.
Yeah.
Their knees break down, their ankles break down, their feet, they deal with their difficulties with their feet, plantar fasciitis, things like that, from all that extra weight.
That's right.
That just doesn't seem like a good principle when we're doing ministry, to be carrying around a bunch of extra weight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and oftentimes, when I talk to people who are going on like a short-term mission trip to Africa, and they're talking so much about what they should bring, and anything that you can buy here that you need, you can buy there.
Which is good to know before you leave.
It is good to know, but for some reason they don't quite believe it if they've never been there before.
Got it.
So, anyway, if you really need something, you can probably find it along the way rather than having to haul it.
Well, that's a good lesson for all travelers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to go on tour for a week. Maybe I just rely on getting stuff there rather than taking it all with me. When we look at this in a biblical sense, we know, for instance, that Jesus sent out his workers. He sent out 70 or 72 disciples, depending on which gospel you're looking at.
Okay.
But when he did that, he told them, don't take a bunch of extra stuff.
Right.
Don't take a bag. Don't take extra pairs of shoes. Don't take all this stuff with you. Why do you think he did that?
Well, I think he did it. He doesn't say.
Right.
But I think he did it because he wanted them to rely on the people. Mm-hmm. And because when you rely on people, a relationship is built.
Great.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, right.
And one of the best things you can do is be in need for somebody to build a relationship.
Great.
I don't know if you've heard of Benjamin Franklin. There's this thing called the Benjamin Franklin effect.
Oh, really?
And
I've heard of him, but not of his effect.
So he had this political nemesis that he wanted to become friends with, and the way that he became friends with him is he asked for something from him, rather than, you would think that maybe giving him something would be a way to build a relationship, but he asked him for a book because this man had a big library, and that was the beginning of a relationship. So actually asking somebody for something is actually a great way to start a relationship, and I think that may be one of the reasons why Jesus said, go with very little rather than go with a lot, because you have a better chance of relying on others, which will build a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a spiritual sense to this as well, not just this physical sense, that sometimes when people go out and they're going to try to minister to others, they carry a bunch of doctrinal weight.
Right.
I got to go with this way of doing things, and I have to bring this way, and my denomination, my doctrine, my favorite scriptures, I got to have all that when I go. And in actuality, the gospel is pretty simple.
That's right.
And a clear message. And if I come and burdened by all that, I also run into problems.
That's right. Yeah, denominationalism was a big problem in Africa, actually. Mm-hmm. And what we found was that the common denominator for all the denominations we were working with in the area where we were was Scripture.
Oh, yes.
Everybody relied on Scripture.
Isn't that
and
interesting? Scripture.
A lot of the difficulties went aside because we were focused on Scripture.
Yeah. And that's really helpful.
Yeah.
What about if I'm in a club? I have to be careful of that as well. I'm talking to my golfing friends. I can just get too preachy, can I?
Yeah, well, we often have our pet little issues that we want to wrestle with, and I think that we need to just focus on the gospel.
Yeah, simple
Yeah.
conversations.
That's right.
Are
And really
sometimes
find
most
out where
meaningful.
people are and what they're wrestling with, and serve them in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. I often say to people now, if you want to know how to preach the gospel, know these 4 words, and then you can work from there. And those 4 words are, I can't, God can. And so my sin disables me, but Christ's work on the cross enables me.
Amen.
And if I can just have a simple framework, I will tend to keep it simple when I'm talking to other people,
That's right.
instead of all of that unpacking that I otherwise would have to do.
That's right.
Yeah,
Try not to make it about us.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for being with us this time, and we will be back soon, and we hope you're with us.